I Felt a Funeral in My Brain by Emily Dickinson, 1830 to 1886. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul, with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell, and being but an ear, and I and silence, some strange race, wrecked solitary here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down, and hit a world at every plunge, and finished knowing then. Okay, this poem is by Emily Dickinson. Let's see, she's an American poet from Massachusetts. I think she probably suffered from agoraphobia and didn't like to go out. She always liked to be at home. Let's see, she very often writes about death, love, and mental illness. And this poem itself is about a funeral. The title is I Felt a Funeral in My Brain. And it's quite interesting because I think this funeral, she's imagining her own funeral, but from the point of view of being dead, of being in the coffin. And she can hear what's going on, but she can't see. And she doesn't really know what's happening until right at the end. She doesn't realise that this is her funeral. So I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. So she can feel a funeral in her brain. She's conscious of it. And people are walking to and fro, backwards and forwards, treading, walking. And it seemed that sense was breaking through, that I was starting to be able to make sense of this. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And so they're clearly in church, and she can hear a church service, and she can hear the people sitting down, and the service is like a drum, boom, boom, boom. And I think maybe this drum, it's maybe the drum beat of death, or maybe it's she thinks it's her heart, and she can't understand. Her mind is numb, her mind is confused, she doesn't understand what's happening, but she can hear all these things. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul. And then I heard them pick up a box, so this box is clearly the coffin, and creak across my soul. So now maybe she's thinking that maybe this is her funeral, yeah? And her soul is creaking with this box. With those same boots of lead again, then space began to toll. So these boots of lead, I think these boots of lead are now taking her out of the church. They're taking the body to the grave. And space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell. So now she can hear the bells again. And I think these are the bells that the body has been taken out of the church. And being but an ear, and I, and silence, some strange race, wrecked solitary here. So She is so, and being nothing but an ear. So the only thing that she is now is an ear that can hear. She can't see what's going on, but she can hear what's going on. She can hear the feet of lead. She can hear the bells. She can hear the creaking of the coffin. Yeah? And I and silence, some strange race. So it's like she feels that she belongs to a really strange race of people, that there's something wrong, there's something unusual. Wrecked, solitary here. Okay, so almost like she's shipwrecked on a shore, alone, solitary, and she again is confused. And then a plank in reason broke. So I think here reason is suddenly breaking through, and she realizes that she is dead, that this is her funeral, and they're going to bury her body. A plank is a flat piece of wood, and the coffin is made of probably planks of wood. And I drop down and down. So now she's going down into the ground, her body's going into the ground, and hit a world at every plunge, and finished knowing then. And they put her in the grave, and she's now in the grave, and she has plunged into the earth, and then she finishes knowing anything. And that's the end. And there's nothing more, and it suddenly cuts off. And I think as a body, during the funeral, she was still connected, she could still hear. And now that they put her into the ground and they cover her with earth, and she is completely disconnected. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. I Felt a Funeral in My Brain by Emily Dickinson.